Moving to Spokane, but not sure which neighborhood to pick? With so many great places to choose from, making the right choice can feel overwhelming. In this video, we're going to talk about the 5 top neighborhoods to move to and the unique characteristics that make each one of them special. Welcome back to Living in Spokane, Washington. If you're new here, my name's Hunter McKay, and I'm a local real estate broker with over 10 years of helping people find their dream home here in Spokane, Washington. Whether you're relocating or just exploring options, please don't hesitate to reach out. I would love to help you talk about your move to Spokane. All right, let's dive in. In this video, we're going to talk about 5 distinct neighborhoods. The first one that I want to cover is Spokane's South Hill. South Hill is most properly known as the area around Manitou and Comstock, because those are the nicest, most sought-after portions of the South Hill. Overall, though, the South Hill can really encompass almost anything south of probably 6th Street, all the way up to 32nd, regardless of if it's a east or west directional, as long as it doesn't expand past the Perry District. The Perry District tends to become its own area, and so really just look at downtown Spokane, head south from there, and that whole hill is called the South Hill, aptly named because of where it's at. Now, Spokane South Hill tends to have older homes that are vintage and charming. They have a lot of old 18 to early 1900s homes that were built at the very beginning of Spokane. And so there's a lot of really great history in many of those homes. Rockwood Boulevard is one of the most sought after areas of Spokane, with homes priced between 1 and 7 million, depending on what you're really looking for. And so there are a lot of really beautiful areas. And of course, Spokane South Hill has other normally priced affordable homes as well in the $300,000 to $500,000 range. But the really big thing that is pretty unanimous across the South Hill is you're going to be spending a little bit more money for a better neighborhood, but the home itself is likely to be older, smaller, and needing a little bit more updates than its counterpart in another neighborhood. And so Spokane South Hill can be a really amazing area for those who really like the charm and history, but it is a commitment to taking care of an older home. I have an older home that's in more Kendall Yards area. That is another neighborhood we'll talk about. But everyone who's watching this video who knows what taking care of an old home is, it provides gifts. It creates a little bit more expense. And so yes, they're nicer homes, but yes, they are also more expensive. Some features that come up a lot when we're discussing the South Hill are the winding tree-lined streets. It's really beautiful to be in those areas because there's a lot of really old, mature trees that just can't be replicated because it can take 100 years for some of them to grow. The plots and parcels tend to be a little bit larger, which create a little bit more individual feeling of all of the neighborhoods. All of the homes are individually designed and built. There's not a lot of cookie-cutter homes, and so it provides a really creative feel and ambiance to all of the neighborhoods. Additionally, it's a really great place for families. A lot of the school systems are incredibly strong and very highly rated, and there's a really strong sense of community in the South Hill, and a lot of great churches that have very high attendance in those areas as well. So it's a really big family-driven area, and it's a very safe school system and very safe neighborhoods. Second neighborhood that I want to move on to is Kendall Yards. That's actually where I live and one of my favorite areas. I find it to be the absolute most convenient place in all of Spokane to live. The only downside is I have a little bit of a smaller lot, and so I'm very much a city house. I love my house, but it's a city house. I don't have a lot of parking. There's mostly street parking around me. I do have a driveway, which is very special for my area, and I have an alley garage. But the things that I love most about Kendall Yards are its proximity to downtown. I can be anywhere I need to be in downtown in like 10 minutes or less. It takes me 5 minutes to get across the bridge. My gym is right downtown. There are so many good restaurants, and Kendall Yards itself has probably 5 to 10 different really good restaurants, coffee shops, and stores that are all within a 5 to 10 minute walk of me. And so I really love where I live. I find it to be super convenient. It can be a little expensive, and so depending on which part of Kendall Yards you're willing to tolerate, There can be outer West Central, which is what we call fake Kendall Yards, and even frankly, I'm in fake Kendall Yards. I got a really good deal on my house because it's not really in Kendall Yards. It's on Bridge Street. If you look at a map, Kendall Yards encompasses most of the streets around West Summit Parkway, but Bridge is the first street just outside of the Kendall Yards development, and so I get to look at all of the new Kendall Yards condos and townhouses. The homes across the street from me are almost 800,000, and the homes on my side of the street tend to be more like 400,000 or 500,000, and so it can be a big difference in cost just getting outside of the development. But the development itself has a lot of amenities. There is an HOA that takes care of all of your landscaping and all of the external maintenance, and frankly, it's a beautiful place to own a dog. There are little stations for dog poop pickup everywhere. There's a dog park nearby, and there's a lot of really wonderful humans that live there. I don't know many of my neighbors, but I know every single one of my neighbors' dogs. All right, the third neighborhood that I want to talk about is Liberty Lake. I remember when Liberty Lake was brand new. I was in high school, and everyone was like, wow, that place is so far away. That's never going to take off. We were wrong. It is now one of the nicest areas of Spokane, and it does not feel that far away. Yes, it is the farthest point from Spokane before you get into Idaho, but that really puts you 30 minutes from downtown. And what everyone who lives in Liberty Lake will tell you, they don't come to downtown Spokane unless they have someone who really wants them to join them for an event downtown. Otherwise, they have all of the resources they need in Liberty Lake, and they chose to live in Liberty Lake for a reason. It is a beautiful community filled with gorgeous, amazing homes, and it is incredibly safe, has very high school system ratings, and has a lot of good restaurants and resources that are all out there in Liberty Lake proper. It can feel very nice to be separate from all the hustle and bustle of Spokane and still have all of the close communities nearby that you can travel to. It also puts you just 20 minutes from downtown Coeur d'Alene in Idaho, which is an amazing place to go to the lake or enjoy a walk on the wharf. Liberty Lake is also a great area for people relocating from California who are looking for more planned communities. They prefer streets and sidewalks, and they want, street lights that come on at night. A lot of the South Hill areas, while they are developed, may not feel like a planned community and can feel, while quaint and charming, messy to some. And so if you're coming from an area that is more developed on a new time scale, the Liberty Lake area can feel a lot more familiar to you and provide that planned unit urban feeling and more of a suburban development that you're used to. The fourth neighborhood I want to talk about is 5 Mile Prairie. 5 Mile is one of my favorite areas, and I spent a lot of time growing up there. Most of my family, when they relocated to Las Vegas, or from Las Vegas, relocated to the north side. And 5 Mile, to everyone on the South Hill, funnily enough, is considered really far north. And to people who live on the north side, everything in South Hill is considered really far away on the south. If you look at it on a map and you're from anywhere with traffic, you'll realize that you can get from the north side of Spokane to the South Hill of Spokane in about 30 minutes with the worst traffic in all the land. And so it's just not that great of a distance. But as you come to learn more about Spokane, you'll find that everyone is very built into their niche, and they like the area that they like because they get used to the resources that are there, and it is unique and different. 5 Mile is a little bit more similar to Liberty Lake in the way that it has planned community developments and a lot more newer homes, but it's still a lot closer to the city. It's only 15 minutes from downtown and can provide a lot closer access to the more proper city life that Spokane is offering. It is also a very strongly rated school system and has a lot of parks and available areas to play in. I think some of the things that really draw people to 5 Mile is that it's really close to a couple of grocery stores. It's very close to Northside Costco, and puts you only 20 minutes from the Spokane airport. And so you can spend a lot less than you would on the South Hill while still being really close and convenient to schools and the shopping that you need, but you can get a much newer home and a much larger lot and maybe spend a little bit less on maintenance and renovation. The last thing I want to talk about before we move on to the final neighborhood is 5 Mile has amazing sunsets, especially if you're on the west side of the hill. You just get these beautiful views of the city, and you don't have to be all the way on the top of the hill. The west rim of 5 Mile is by far the most sought after area, but anywhere that gives you the west-facing views is going to give you this amazing view of downtown, these amazing sunsets. And when you wake up in the morning, it can be really cool to see all the clouds over the city, and you're kind of peeking above them, getting to see this amazing cloud and fog block before it burns off midday. The last area I want to talk about is Perry District. It's one of my favorite neighborhoods because it's hip, it's up and coming, and it has a really fun and friendly vibe to it. It's a very young part of Spokane, and you can tell that a lot of the restaurants and stores are really catering to this indie vibe that they're trying to cultivate. They have a farmer's market, they have lots of fun restaurants, it has a Buddhist temple. It's a really different place compared to the rest of Spokane, and so if you're looking for something that's walkable and fun and urban, but you're feeling like Kendall Yards is either too expensive or maybe too uppity, then really go check out Perry District, because it can be a completely different vibe while still providing some of the fun walkable amenities. All right, now that we've talked about some of Spokane's top neighborhoods, if you're local, I want you to shout out in the comments and tell me if I got anything wrong or what you think your favorite neighborhood is, and we can do a video about that next. If you're not a local and you're watching this video, I want you to take a look in the comments and tell me which neighborhood is your favorite. And if there are any neighborhoods that you've been really interested in that we haven't talked about, please tell me about that one too. We'd love to hear from you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. That way you can stay up to date on all the new videos that we're posting. Thanks for sticking with us, and until next time, talk to you soon.